the Abarth Carrera STL.
So this was their design concept.
Design concept. And about 4 or 5 years ago, Zagato found the original plans. They brought the Porsche executives to Milan, sat them down in a little theater, and made a presentation and said, we've done 3D imaging of the sketches, and we want to build this car with your blessing. We want to use the Porsche badging on it, and we want it to be sanctioned by Porsche. And they said yes. And they built 9 Spyders and 9 Coupes. This is obviously one of the Coupes. And they offered, I'm not sure how they offered everybody else the car, but to Paul and I, they just direct messaged us on Instagram and said, do you want one?
So do you guys get direct messages on Instagram to buy something like this? Because I don't.
There are going to be 9. There'll be another one in the United States, and that was bought by Ben Clymer of Hodinkee. And I believe it was 2 years ago yesterday that we originally weren't quite sure what the car was and didn't have a lot of time to think about it and passed on it. But then in Porsche Panorama magazine, we saw the pictorial as we were landing 2 years ago, and Zuckerman said, "Get that now."
That's you said more than that, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I did.
And by the time we had our bags, they had sold the car to someone else, but said, "We'll honor it and we'll give you number 7." And this is number 7. Now here we are 2 years later, and it was delivered last week.
And speaking of delivery, can we talk about yesterday's delivery?
Yeah, here. Go ahead, Paul.
Well, yesterday we were on our way over, and the gas gauge was reading a little bit funny. We didn't know if it meant it was full or empty, and that meant just take a chance. And that resulted in us breaking down on the side of the road, or stopping on the side of the road for everyone to see us. And you came to our rescue.
We tried. PCA came to the rescue.
But that's what was great. I mean, immediately, you guys were, they drove 5 miles down the road here. It was this hot, but with a traffic jam. They brought us gas. We laughed the whole way back.
Look, we didn't want to be responsible for leaving you on the side of the road.
No, you really saved our lives. And then they drove us back to the hotel. I mean, you can't say enough good things about PCANA and Porsche Club and the Porsche people and you folks. That's why we're here, and not quail.
Did you hear that? We'll just keep that amongst us friends.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Hell no.
So, Spike's Car Radio.
Yes.
Crazy. I mean, everybody look forward to hearing about it, and how's it changed for you in terms of when it started and today and bringing on guests and such?
You know, it really started with this thing that Paul and I and Jerry Seinfeld do where we just get in the car on the weekends. You know, it's often said we don't golf, we just go for a drive. And we would go to Bill's in Malibu and sit on the porch, take pictures of cars and just talk, and that would, you know, you'd feel like you were on a vacation for an hour. And, you know, we started noticing people on the porch were starting to sit close to us. They wanted to listen to our conversation. And, you know, shortly after that, someone offered me a podcast and said, what would you want to do? And I said, you know, I like the idea of kind of leaving a seat open on the conversation I already have with my friends. And as long as, you know, you don't mind, it's going to be Porsche-centric, and it's just going to be...
We don't mind that it's Porsche-centric at all.
The stuff that we talk about, the stupid... You know, things that we get caught up on, you know, why when you ding your door it ruins your week, you know, all of the insider car stuff that really exists as opposed to, you know, what...
Well, to me, I consider it sort of unfiltered, like discussions with my buddy.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's what I love about it,
yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, we all drive our Porsches, we drive long distances, and listening to you two, you know, it's like we're just, the miles just go away and we get to our destination pretty quickly because we're riding amongst with our friends.
Yes, exactly that. And we that's what we hope. We hear that all the time from, you know, just this morning from as far away as Denmark, just that we are all similarly afflicted with this Porsche thing and this car thing. And it's good to know that we're all out there and we can connect.
So this is number 7. There was 9 of them in total built. Does that include the...
I believe there's a prototype.
There's a prototype.
000, yeah, and that's going to be at the Zagato factory.
And as I was up top today bringing cars in, and of course I knew this was down here, but then I saw Zagato pull in.
What do you mean?
There was one floating around here that looks...
Oh, Ben Clymer's car.
Yes.
That's Ben Clymer's car.
Yeah. I'm like,
it's dark
what
red metallic.
yeah, exactly. What are the odds?
One of
Well,
the
they're
odds.
pretty good apparently.
At Monterey Car Week, the odds are very good.
Very good, yeah. No, he brought the car in from New York, and he's getting it and sorting it too. And we were just with Andrea Zagato at the Spanish Bay, and Hurley Haywood and Pat Dempsey having a good time talking Porsche there, and hearing more about the history of Zagato. And he didn't say I couldn't say anything. There's some other thing Zagato and the Porsche factory are planning right now that he didn't get into, but he said it comes after the A-Block.
And there's more.
And I said, what? And he goes,
Oh.
so
right.
there's something new coming that apparently they're teaming up on.
So back to the car in terms of its underpinnings. Obviously the beautiful lines, the aluminum body. It's a 356.
Yep.
What year chassis is underneath?
The donor car was a car from New York that ended up in Italy that was a 61 356B.
51.6, okay. And I have to ask, what was the condition of that car before it had
Don't
this?
ask, don't
Don't ask, don't tell?
Don't ask, don't
okay. But you always want to start with a good donor, so I imagine it was presentable.
Right.
It doesn't matter because all the body panels went away.
Right. And the motor that's in the car.
And the motor, right.
Yeah.
And that's something Zuckerman and I and John Wilhoit, who we love, are all talking about now. Like, Zagato did an amazing job bringing the car over here, and we're now going to make it our own with John Wilhoit. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you've driven it a total of what, maybe 100 miles, if that?
No, 5.
5 miles. And
then we broke down.
You drove 5 miles and we pushed it forward.
Yes.
So this is true mileage unknown then. So we just killed the value of the car.
Yeah, no, good question. I meant to ask Andrea that.
Yeah.
It says 30 on the odometer, but based on the condition of the car we saw, I would bet it's about 130.
So if you would be open to, I think it might be fun to maybe hear from the crowd, maybe 1 or 2 questions.
Sure,
Is that all right?
Yeah.
So do you guys have any questions for Spiker Paul?
Not hard ones. We're not the most knowledgeable guys.
I heard this was a Plan Z car.
Hi, Manny.
Can you tell us what a Plan Z car is?
Did we plant this question?
You did.
Plan Z.
Plan Z, the underpinnings of Plan Z are that one should always function in an ill-considered and spontaneous manner when it comes to purchasing cars. And once you commit, you then get a friend or 2 or 3 to bear the cost of it.
Let me say the part 2 to that, and these were your words. We each have plausible deniability with our wives on this. So when this is in my garage and my wife sees it and says, "Whose is that?" I say it's Paul's, and vice versa. And it works out very well between us.
Some of our wives are here. You just killed it for us.
These are the Porsche wives. They're different.
They're good.
They're cool.
There you go. Do we have any other questions? Man, they're just happy that you're here.
Well, we're happy to be here with all of you, and we're here to look at your cars. So,
well,
thank you. Have anything to ask? I want to see your show.
You guys want to go see the car, so I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you for bringing the car. We'll take good care. We'll leave it here for the time being.
You can have it.
Oh, I have all these witnesses. That's fantastic.
It's really hot out there, and there's a traffic jam. So we'll come back later.
So, if you would, enjoy yourself. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for you. Thank you. Thanks for yesterday for your help.
That Dana Vision. Check this out. Just heard the woman say this, as you see it, is $185,000. And you have to pull it behind something. I'd rather get me a Sprinter or a Ram. Look at that.
And I have to get up in the middle of the night and go way up.
Don't you deserve something?
Yeah, I do.
Isn't it that time?
They already have 2 Porsches down from 3, so but you said you sold one. It's not that bad.
Oh yeah, you just spelled it.
I know what everybody
185.
Yeah, they want $60 on that.
I guess you got to fill out a financial application. They'll go in and look at it. As you saw, it stood right by the door, and nor did she move. Say, go ahead, take a look. So, I'm gonna buy one anyway. There you have it. Trying to find interesting stuff here at Werks Porsche. Okay, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that walkthrough. I'm back up on the teeing green, ready to head out. Let's just take a 180 to see what we panned around and walked around and commented on and made sounds about. Werks reunion, Warshaw. Dan Alive, Dan Vision.